We're going to talk about money. You know, one of the biggest things I hear, you know, people that are trying to win big in the music business, especially aspiring artists or DJs or producers, is they complain, I don't have money. A lot of people have a dysfunctional relationship with money, and they have a misunderstanding of money, what to do with it, how to get it, how to most effectively use it the best way. So I have my friend Stefan Whitwell, founder and owner of National Wealth Partners.
Bingo.
Right? He has his own wealth management firm, and typically you'd have to have millions of dollars in the bank to talk to this guy or to get advice from this guy. But here, he's going to give you guys advice on money, what to do with it, your relationship with it, how to pay attention to it, the best way to manage it, and strategy around money. So let's start with, I'm an aspiring artist, and I have no money, and I want to make it big in the music business. What would be the first piece of advice you would say to someone like me that doesn't think I have enough money to even start my road to success in the music business?
So whether you have $1 in the bank or $10 million in the bank, we believe, and I think you'd all agree, if you really stop and think about it, that real wealth is not just money in a bank. Real wealth starts with you, right? In our world, we say real wealth is lived at the intersection of health, which is investing in you, financial wealth, obviously,
right,
and purpose. Hey, I want to be a musician. I want to change the world. I want to make people happy. I want to solve this problem. And so right out of the gate, if you're thinking, oh, I'm poor, I don't have a lot of wealth, I'd stop you right there and go, hey, stop. Everybody's got a superpower. Everybody's got worth.
Right.
So start from a broader definition of wealth and just go, hey, okay, in addition to these other areas I've got, now we're going to build our financial wealth. And it comes kind of like we were talking about earlier, just a few basic concepts that are critical today starting out and will be critical when you're a multimillionaire.
So let's talk about those concepts, but first,
Yeah.
let's keep it all the way real.
Okay.
I'm broke. I don't have the money. I want to get into the studio. I want to cut records. I want to do this stuff. I don't have money. So it's all good about my health and all these other things about wealth. We get it. But I need money because the other things don't pay the bills. It's not going to pay for my studio time. It's not going to make me fly to LA to go connect with producers. I want to win big in the music business, and I think I need money to do that.
Yep.
So I'm that artist.
Okay.
So let's talk to that artist.
Okay. So look, starting out, the very, very first thing you need to do is make a commitment that you are going to take ownership over your money. That money isn't some thing out there, that you're going to own your finances. I don't care whether you have $1 or you have $10 million, you need to look at your finances at least once a month. I can't tell you how many people I meet, even people that have a ton of money, that have bad experiences around it because they just never look at it.
Right.
They don't talk about it. They don't ask tough questions about it. Hey, how am I doing? What's going on? And usually the answer is not rocket science.
Right.
Right. It's common sense. So like Clinton said, you don't need to go out there and take 10 courses on finances, but you need to own your financial situation. And if you need more money to continue investing in you, and you got to go get a side hustle, then you go do it. But identify
A legal side hustle.
a legal side hustle. Identify how much do you need, and set a separate account that's your investment account in for you. So you're putting that money into there, so that when you have it, you know exactly where it's going and you're investing in yourself.
Right. Okay, so now I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, great, man. You guys got money on camera, so it's great to say have a relationship with money, but I don't really have that much money. I'm 18, I'm 22, I'm hard on my luck. Music is my passion. I want to win big in the music business, but I think that I need to have a lot of money to make it in the music business. One of the things I think people don't take into consideration is you don't even need the money that you think you need, first of all. But second of all, if you manage your money right, you can make your money work for you in a better way than you maybe have been doing. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I know a lot of guys that have made a lot of money and just they've spent it all on stupid things. Instead of investing it in assets, and by asset I mean something that's going to become more valuable to you over time, they spend it on consumption, and so they end up with not a lot. On the other hand, I've worked with some people that did not make a lot of money, but they were so good about saving and investing that, several decades later, they had a shocking amount of money.
Right.
But I'll even kind of go a step back. You know, I think money is kind of a side product of investing your heart in something you love. So if music and the music industry and the role you play in it is something you're passionate about, you're going to make money.
Right.
And you need to be prepared for when you do, no matter how much money you make, you've got to have some basic principles that will drive your success.
Well, I want to go back to you saying an asset, something you invest in that's going to make you more money. You are an asset. Your brain is an asset. Your music is an asset. Your publishing is an asset. Your writing, your masters, all of these things are assets that investing money into, if you believe in yourself and you invest in yourself, whether it's, watching a course, to further your knowledge, whether it's going to the studio and making music, whether it's buying a piece of equipment so you can knock out beats, getting a laptop, getting a program, whatever it is, saving money to invest in yourself. If you believe in yourself that much, then you're the asset you should be investing in, because you're going to have a good ROI, return on your investment, if you're spending your money in the right place, right?
That's right.
So, I know it's your time to talk. I want you to talk more, but I'm passionate about this because, it's weird when I see people say, I don't have money, but yet they're buying cigarettes, or they're buying vaping, and they're buying weed, or they're going out partying and buying alcohol, or when people get some money, they go buy expensive sneakers, or they go and buy a car or a watch, or things that depreciate.
That's right.
They're not assets that is going to make you more money. However, there's also something to say with your image, right? So maybe you got to spend some of those things to go, like you and I both know, if we go meet with another rich guy, you're looking at his shoes and his watch to see if you're on his level. You know what I mean? So that's a secret, by the way. That's what rich guys do. So when you get there, but so there's
when you get there,
yeah, because you're gonna get there. But there's something to say about investing in yourself and understanding that you are an asset. Like Nipsey Hussle.
That's right.
For instance, Nipsey was someone that believed in himself.
He invested in a number of ways in himself, right? I mean,
in his masters, and keeping his own music, opening his own store,
Yep.
Investing in his community.
Yep.
Because what did that do? Investing in the community made the community invest back in you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So for people that, I just want to stress enough that one of the complaints I hear the most is, but I don't have the money.
Right.
Right? And it's
Yeah. So in finance, we talk about capital, and people often just get fixated on financial capital. When we're working with clients, we explicitly look at human capital and financial capital. And we'll start by saying, hey, what's your goal? Where do you want to end up with? What do you want to accomplish? Mm-hmm. And then we work backwards and go, okay, what do you need to accomplish that? Part of that's money, part of that's human capital. And what do you need to support that, right? Which then gets into lifestyle issues and health and protecting you, because human capital, our clients, truth be told,
Right.
are their biggest economic engine. They're brilliant in their area. They make money. They add value. They're the engine. Mm-hmm. So it's human capital. And what I also think is important about that is we don't judge. I started my own business partially because I didn't like the fact that a lot of firms would look at people in purely numbers. Somebody walk in, they go, how much are you worth? And then they decide how much they,
Right.
I know you and I look at this similarly, but when somebody walks in the door, we want to get to know who they are. Where's their heart, their mind, what are their talents, and kind of appreciate them holistically, not just how much money do you have.
Right.
And the reality is that your talents, your heart, your drive, your commitment, your passion, harnessed in the right way is what's going to help make you money.
Right.
So I couldn't agree with you more. It's not just about money. It's who are you? What choices are you making?
Right.
Which is why you're investing in the class and the course to take your game to the next level.
Right, but I don't want to sugarcoat anything, right? I want people to feel like I need to know exactly what to do, right? And that's all well and good, and that's a beautiful thing that you said. However, I'm still a dude that doesn't have the money to get to where, you are, or where people that I admire are at. So I think people, the reason why they feel that way is because of their broken relationship with money and their understanding of how to make money work.
Right.
Right. And I think that's really what I want you to get across to people that feel like they don't have any money. Look, I can give you a million different ways to go figure out how to make money, right? Like I figured it out. When I was 12 years old, I started my first company, called Rent a Team. Yeah. And it was like basically renting out me and my friend's services to clean houses, shovel, driveways and go grocery shopping for old folks, right?
Yeah.
There's a million different ways you can make money, right? But the thing is,
But you got to take action. You got to do something on it.
you have to take action and you have to know how to manage that money.
Right.
It's so crucial for you to realize, I mean, every dollar I get, I'm thinking, what's the best thing to do with this dollar?
That's right.
Do I
Well,
go to
let's-
that restaurant
and let's talk
spend
about that.
this much,
Let's
or
look-
do I go to this one and save that much?
Yeah.
And then invest the rest of that into something that I believe in, which can be an asset.
That's right. So that's kind of the second key thing is when you are spending money, think about, is this going to be an asset for me that's going to grow in value? Or is this just a fun thing I'm blowing the money on that's gone?
Right.
Right? So you get a big record deal for a couple $100,000 and you go spend $20,000 on a party with your friends, that money's gone.
Right.
I'm not saying don't celebrate with your friends. Celebration's very important.
Right.
But be smart about it.
Right.
Make sure that you are investing that money in you.
Well, there's
And on speaking of you too, Rockefeller, right? I mean, and I'm not talking about the guy now, but like the guy 100 years ago, multi-billionaire. What most people don't realize is he started out in the Great Depression, and for the first 3/4 of a year, he went out every day looking for a job. And it took him almost 9 months before he got a entry-level job as a bookkeeper.
Yep.
And every day he got dressed up in a suit. He made a lunch bag which consisted of just a small piece of bread because he was very poor at the time, and a briefcase that he really didn't have anything in, but he wanted to present an image
Yep.
and go hit the street every day. And so I would argue that really what helped him build his wealth over time was that character, that human capital. So even if you're starting out, you've got to have some respect for yourself and believe in yourself and understand that character, your actions that you're choosing, I'm choosing to not spend it on something stupid, but invest it in something important. That character, that action is going to pay off for you big
Right.
time and will translate into money.
So there's a lot of kids now that are making money streaming. There's a lot of, whether it's on Spotify or Apple or even gaming,
Yeah.
streaming that way. So a lot of people are making money pretty fast.
That's right.
Right, for doing what they love to do. And one of the things that I'm concerned about is them not having the right guidance on how to protect their future, how to save their money, how to invest their money, taxes, all of these things that maybe they don't have the education on what to do with it because it's coming so fast and so easy, right?
Look, even with my wealthiest clients, they're brilliant in their areas of business, but they hire experts to help them in different areas. So in music, you might need a brilliant sound engineer, or you need stagehands, or you need promoters, or different people to help you. So when it comes to money, people hire firms like ours. But the key thing is it starts with you demanding accountability from money. So just like you worked hard for money, I want you to put your money hard to work for you. And what that means is, starting out, even if you don't have much money, every month, looking at your statement, looking at your checkbook, so to speak, looking at your credit card, making sure your bills are paid. I can't tell you how many people kind of just in the spirit of being busy don't do that. Next thing you know, they got terrible credit, and it causes all these other issues. Guys, do yourself a favor. Every month, make sure you look at your statements, look at your credit cards, pay your bills, and start small, but build up from there. And then one day when you're making millions and you hire a firm like ours, you know what? You need to hold firms like ours accountable. You need to keep that same attitude of accountability that you're holding to yourself, to other firms and other people that you work with.
Right, so that's a good point because even when you find someone that is competent, and reputable in handling your money, you need to have enough literacy that you can follow up and check on them to make sure you're not getting robbed.
Yeah.
There's managers that'll rob you, promoters that'll rob you. You got to watch your own money, and the only way to watch your money is to understand money.
Yeah, and part of it's even just common sense. It's about on a regular basis going, hey, how are we doing? How have we done?
Right.
How is my account done?
Right.
It doesn't even need to be super technical, but it's about owning it every month, looking at it and asking a couple basic questions.
Right. So if I'm somebody that has a regular job, and my dream is to make it in the music business, and I'm making whatever it's minimum wage or whatever it is a week, how do I start structuring my life so that I'm putting money away to save and or to invest in the things that matter the most to me effectively?
So there's two things that we'll often work with folks on. Number one is go through and look at what you can renegotiate among your expenses. I can't tell you how often we help clients save money by renegotiating. A simple one is your phone bill. Phone companies change their plans all the time, and I can't tell you how many times I've gone in there and gone, oh, you have a better plan that saves me money? Well, why didn't you tell me that earlier? Well, because they make more money off you.
Right.
Another example would be car insurance or house insurance. I just, last year, I asked the question. I said, hey, what you got on offer? What specials do you have? Would you believe I actually got a better policy and I saved 35% a year just because I asked them?
Wow.
It's dumb. They don't tell you.
Right.
You got to ask them.
Right.
You got to own it. You
Right.
got to ask. You got
Right.
to take that action. But so negotiation's one. The second part of it is just
Also, interest rates on your credit cards.
same
To
thing.
negotiate those.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing is, maybe twice a year, but certainly at a minimum once a year, look at what you spent money on the last year. And kind of put it into categories, however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just go through and really simple go, hey, did this move the needle or not?
Right.
Is this something I really made a big difference for me or not?
Right.
And one thing that's kind of a fun way to approach it is just pick one or two things.
Right.
And go, hey, okay, I'm going to pick just one or two things from my list, 'cause you'll find more than one or two probably
Right.
that didn't move the needle. Pick one or two and go, I'm cutting those out, and I'm replacing that money in an investment account or a savings account that I'm going to invest in my record. I'm going to invest in my music career. I'm going to invest in my next step or my next course to take it to the next level.
What's the biggest mistake you see people that start to come into money, the biggest mistake they make with their money?
Not looking at it. They don't pay attention to it. They just kind of assume, oh, there's going to be enough. They assume that the CPA has already taken the taxes out or something, and in the end, people end up with these terrible tax problems. They're just not paying attention. They're not asking questions. And it's like anything else, like in construction, for example, there's an old piece of wisdom that says, you don't get what you pay for, you get what you supervise. And your job is to supervise your money. You need to hold people accountable to you.
Right.
And so just make sure that again, you're looking at it, you're asking questions, and once you really do start making money, get somebody on your team to help you.
What's the best thing an artist that's starting to make money, say for performances or for streams? What's the best thing that they can do to be mindful of taxes that they're going to have to pay on that? Because I think a lot of people, especially that are not educated, don't realize I got to put this much aside for taxes, and I've seen a lot of artists get in trouble for not paying their taxes.
Yeah.
So what's the rule of thumb to put this aside for taxes? And by the way, the money I put aside for taxes, how can I make that work for me until it's time to use it to pay taxes?
Yeah, so the first question I think is by far the most important one. How do I not get a terrible surprise at the end of the year? So I always recommend having a separate account that when you take money out, you put it into that separate account. Because if it's mingled in your regular account, look, we all get thrown curveballs by life, and it's too easy to take it out and then you get a problem.
Pay a bill, yeah.
Right? You get a big problem.
How much should you put in that extra account?
It depends by state, but I think at a minimum, 35%.
Right.
You want to be a little more conservative, maybe get some more money back at the end of the year, take out 40.
Yeah.
It really depends on what state and what city you live in. New York City, those of you watching from New York City, it could be 50%, right?
Wow.
You've got city taxes, state taxes, but somewhere between minimum 35 up to 50.
Yeah.
And it's always better at the end of the year to get money back, right?
Right,
kind of a surprise gift that was always welcome. But
Right.
The main idea, have a separate account, put it there immediately. And in addition to a wealth advisor, having a good tax person on your team is important. Somebody that you go to again, and it's important to, they may not always, they're busy, right? So they may not always reach out to you and go, hey, Clinton, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Because they're just so busy. So it's on you. You got to call them up and go, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I got this book deal here. I got this, performance here. I got a touring gig here. So that they know what you're doing and they can then tell you, okay, look, here's how much you need to hold.
Right.
Really important.
Right. So in conclusion, money can be your friend. Money can be something that you should have a great relationship with and a firm understanding of it. When somebody else is controlling your money, whether they're collecting it, protecting it, investing it, whatever it is, you should have enough financial literacy to understand what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to school and be as smart as them, but know enough to have some, do you agree with this?
Absolutely.
Enough to understand what they're doing with it. And then keep track of your money.
Every month, just look at it.
Look
Every
at your
month.
money, have some kind of accounting system, even if it's in your phone and your notes. Here's how much I made, here's how much goes to my manager. If you're a manager, here's how much we made, here's how much should be coming to me. So it's just really having an understanding of where the money is, where it's coming from, where it needs to go, and what I need to do with it.
And one kind of fun thought just to end with here is sometimes making sacrifices can be hard, right? And so, okay, I'm going to spend less on this, or I'm going to work some extra, hustle some extra jobs on the side to save up some extra money. So I think it's also very important that you find little ways to reward yourself. So that as you're following this advice, that you identify that in advance. And when you hit that goal, that you do that, you know. So take your girlfriend out, or take your wife out, or take your husband out for dinner, or just something, you know, it doesn't have to be big, but just celebrate that. Because victory is measured in you know, it's not one big giant immediate leap, right? I mean, you've been in this business for decades.
Celebrate little victories.
That's right. And they add up. Little victories pile up big time.
Right.
So.
And so will your money if you invest it right. Get familiar.